right, well, not only did the Senate come under Republican control, but the Senate, by a slim majority now, will have control of the Senate. But what does that mean? Can we expect the Senate to now pass some of the bills that were supported by the House and sent over to the Senate in the last 4 years? Joining me now is a former Oklahoma representative and now Senator-elect James Lankford. James, welcome to this special program. We're having trouble connecting him. We'll get him in just a moment. All right, James, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you very much.
Let's talk about this, Senator. Congratulations in your election. What can we now expect out of this new Senate majority made up of Republicans?
Right, there's a big shift that happens when you go from being the minority in the Senate to being the majority, to actually trying to say, how do we bring pieces of legislation and try to actually fix problems rather than just block? So there's a couple things. One is we've got to actually block the things that President Obama is pushing, but the other one is to actually put forward things that we would agree with. There's 387 bills we passed in the House of Representatives that the Senate has never even debated, much less voted on, never even debated those things. So let's move a lot of those things over. They deal with regulatory reform, they deal with energy, they deal with Obamacare, I mean, just on and on, the issues that we've dealt with there. So let's move those to the Senate, let's get the debate, let's actually set some things on the President's desk and move forward on an agenda.
Many of those pieces of legislation you were a part of spearheading in the House. You'll now have a chance to do that in the Senate. Do you think that you'll be able to muster the support needed in the Senate to advance these and place these onto the President's desk?
I do, and I think there's some key areas. For instance, in the House, we passed not only Obamacare full repeal, but we've also passed things like the 40-hour work week. Americans think we already have a 40-hour work week, but Obamacare took that away. It's now a 30-hour work week. So we need to move that back to 40-hour. That affects a lot of folks that are in poverty and low entry-level jobs. To be able to allow them to be able to get to a 40-hour work week again is a huge help for their family. Just opening up freedom of choice again for people to be able to pick health insurance plans, to not have to play Mother May I with Washington, D.C. for a health insurance plan, to say you can purchase any health insurance policy that's legal in your state. That's a huge dynamic. So while I think it's important that we lay out things like repealing Obamacare entirely, I think we also lay out things that the Senate should move, and the President will have a very difficult time vetoing, because the American people, quite frankly, already wish that they had it now.
So, Senator Lankford, what is top on your priority list as you move over to the Senate?
Well, budget for me is still a huge area. The people have started to step back and say, well, our deficit is only $480 billion now, so we're doing much better in deficit. We still have $480 billion in deficit. That's a big deal. I come from a biblical worldview in the way that I address issues. When I look at Nehemiah and how he handled things when he stepped into Jerusalem, it was that the people were in disgrace and the wall was broken down. But the two things that he focused in on was the infrastructure side of things and the debt. Half of the book of Nehemiah is just getting the people out of debt, and so they could actually take on the other things. We can't handle national defense right now. We can't handle a lot of things that we need to do and that need to be driven by states because we have so much debt. So that should remain a big focus for us to get ourselves out of debt. We are proving that our nation really is a slave to the lender.
Speaking of that biblical worldview, we've seen under this administration increased hostility toward religious expression, in particular Christianity. Is that going to be an issue that you help address, allowing people to actually exercise religious freedom and live their life according to their faith?
Absolutely. In fact, it's interesting. Last night, there were three things that I addressed where I said we've lost freedom in this country, and we've got to be able to take those back. Number one was the debt. Number two is the federal government thinks that they're everyone's dad. We're not encouraging dads to actually be dads and lead to families again. And the third aspect was religious liberty. People that have faith should be free to be able to live their faith in the workplace, at home, wherever they are. People that don't have faith, they choose not to have faith. That's their free choice as an American. But for those of us that do have faith, we should be able to live that out. So whether you're a chaplain in the military, whether you're a small business or a large business and choose to live and practice your business by biblical practices, or whether you're just an individual trying to make decisions about how to be able to handle your business and how you're going to be able to serve things and do it by biblical practices, that is your free choice as an American, and we've got to find ways to be able to protect that.
Well, James, again, congratulations on your election to the United States Senate. Obviously, we look forward to continuing to work with you now on the other side of the Capitol.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I encourage people to pray as much as we complain. We're all pretty frustrated with what's happening in government. Let's lean in, let's pray it through, and let's deal with this.
All right. James Lankford, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.